Hey guys, welcome into my latest video. My name is Kerry Holzman. I've got a guest joining me today. What are we calling you?
I.L. Donaldson.
IL. Well, IL, welcome into my kitchen / repair center.
Yes, thank you.
What have you brought me today and why?
I brought you a computer that I've had since 2011, and basically I bought it in 2011, and it stayed in the box for about 5 years as I moved around. Because I work for the government, I always had a laptop.
Wait a minute, you work for the government? All right, show's over.
Yeah, no, yeah, work. So I let it sit around for like 5 years until I got transferred, and then I started using my own. I didn't start using this computer till after 5 years. So it sat in the box for 5 years after I paid for it.
Ugh, that's not
So
good.
then I didn't start using it because I always had my laptop. So
oh, you have another computer.
I have a computer laptop, a job computer. I use that for everything.
Right.
So as I started moving along, I decided that I needed to hook this up because the last agency I was with, they didn't give me a laptop straight off. So I started using this computer. So as I start using it, I mean, come on, it was 5 years old, about time.
The laptop's 5? Or
No, this was
you
5.
You said it's been 5.
2011, I didn't start using it until like maybe
2016.
So I started using it, and I noticed that, you know, I guess maybe because it was like outdated, because boxes are smaller these days. And I noticed it was kind of running kind of slow when I would get on it. And so, you know, I just...
Slow compared to the laptop?
Way slow compared to the laptop.
Okay.
And I didn't have a lot of features on there like Adobe. Like I downloaded a lot of files. And another thing, I was having problems with that and getting a lot of softwares on there. You know, and I'm not computer savvy myself, so
yeah.
As it went along, and this really started slowing up.
Thank goodness, otherwise I wouldn't have a job.
Yes, and then I met this nice lady that knows, Carrie.
Yeah, okay.
And we got to talking about it, and one thing led to another, and she was going to come over there and work on it
for you.
But she decided, said she basically does, you know, just for personal and stuff, and then she hooked me up with you, and I went to go watch your videos, and I watched maybe like 5 days of videos.
Oh, did you?
On the way home, because I commute to work.
And you still came over.
Yeah. I watched 5 days of videos, and every day, because it takes me about 45 minutes to commute to work, home. So I would put on the video and look, I said, wow, the guy really knows his stuff, and it's really genuine. That's what I like about it. You really know your product. And you know the different things, you can diagnose a problem, because I'm not computers for. I can work on a computer, but finding out what's wrong with it, no, that's not my.
Yeah, and chances are whatever you're getting paid to do with the computer, I can't do. But I can make the computer work. See, that's how this whole thing goes around. So what we've got here is a Dell Inspiron, and this is a, I don't know what this is. I'm going to step around here so everybody can see. Memory modules are all filled up. We've got a mechanical drive here. Optical drive, no add-in cards. We're using built-in video. There's no front fan, so there's only 3 fans. There'll be the one in the power supply, the one on the CPU, and the rear case fan. We're going to make sure all those are spinning.
Okay.
And then what I'm going to do is we're going to hook this up to my video capture card. So everybody out there will just... Is there anything on your desktop that we don't want anybody to see before I hook it up?
Oh, no.
Icons or any personal identifiable information you can think of?
No.
Should be fine?
Yeah, it should be fine.
Well, we're going to basically broadcast the desktop.
Okay.
And if we see anything, we can edit it out later.
Okay.
And I'm going to move this out of my way because I'm tripping over it. That's the side panel that I took off earlier. I blew the dust and debris out of there already. We just did that. He got to witness the leaf blower firsthand.
Yes.
Kevin Lavis has contributed £2. Thank you, Kevin. He says, very good interactive video you did with Mitch. Oh, thanks, Kevin. I appreciate that. And let's see. Yeah, we lost a bunch of viewers from restarting. We got 100. We went from over 200 to under 100, under 150, but they'll all come back. Okay. The other thing I want to do is plug video in. So I'm going to plug you in directly to the video capture card, which is just an HDMI cable right here. And let me plug this into the streaming computer. That should go here. So basically, just slow was all you're talking about.
It
Just slow.
comes up really slow, and like myself, all the time that I work on a computer, we have IT accountants and IP people. I can tell them to design things for me. I never have, if something go wrong with the computer, especially the work computer, they'll dial into my system and
Remote access.
go through everything. I don't have to create everything, but now I'm at a point now at my new job, we have to do everything. It's kind of like you got to go in there and see what's wrong with it. And I'm used to.
Now, huh? You're used to
working like you, working like you call them up. I need you to design this report. You need to find out what's wrong with the help desk. Yeah, call the help desk. Usually dial into my computer, but here you got to do all you can now.
I think the company's cutting back the way they're cutting back.
Yeah,
I don't think they realize how much this is really going to cost them. They think they're saving money. I think it's going to cost them money because I don't know what somebody in your position would do if you had to rely on some of the other tech services that are out there, or try and fix it yourself, and could make everything worse. But I think this is a corporate culture thing happening right now, and I think it's going to not last. I hope it's not going to.
It's the cutbacks. A lot of things. They're hiring a lot of contractors. A lot of people, we used to have the help desk would be government employees, but now they're contractors.
Right.
They don't really know the situation, so they coming from the outside.
Oh no, the contractors aren't there full time?
Yeah, the contractors are there full time, but they don't know the system like a government employee would know our system. Like we work on a system called MoCAS from 1962. You get a contractor coming in there, a government person knows exactly the ins and outs of it, but I'll get a lot of things they cannot work me through an issue because it's not web-based.
Wow.
You can work on an issue, it'll keep going. It doesn't tell you when you make an error.
You're working on software on a regular basis.
But can't nobody break into the system.
Updated since 1960. Well, yeah, it's not designed.
Nobody cannot, but we have a 360. You got to go into 5 different systems, which is really good, but it's becoming obsolete now.
Becoming obsolete? Now? I got news for you.
But we haven't had anybody crack the system. That's the one thing. That's the good thing.
Well, I mean, you guys could be using right? All right.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Let's take a look. What's going on in the chat? It says I missed a donation. No, I covered that donation. That was just Kevin. That's the only one I see. Okay, so hello to everybody joining us in the chat. Thank you for joining me and my guest, IL. He's brought his Dell Inspiron here. He says it's very slow. It's from 2011, which automatically gets me thinking, of course it's going to be slow. It's from 2011.
Yeah. The
question is it running 2011 slow, or is it running 1997 slow? Exactly. So that's what we're going to find out. I've got the wireless keyboard and mouse over there plugged into this. We've got power plugged in, and I've got the video cable plugged in. So let me switch over. You guys are going to get a rainbow screen here. Should be. Hit the wrong button. Sorry, guys. Try and add another display source.
And another thing I must tell you moving forward, I don't have regular cable service. I actually have a jetpack. I have a hotspot.
Okay. That's
another contributor because it gets slower. If I watch movies and have on this computer, it goes down to 600. It runs real slow, and I'll get a text message telling me, hey, you have used up all you get 25 bytes, but once you get up to 15, the computer runs slower until the next cycle. And that's one of the issues that I know I need to go back to cable, where I have unlimited data, where I won't be limited, because I either got to watch TV or I'm going to be on the internet. And when I do...
Yeah, you're going to eat up a lot of bandwidth.
Yeah, I do eat up a lot of bandwidth, and I would have it on all night long.
Okay, so we've got 2 logins here.
Donnerson.
All right, so we're gonna use this keyboard and mouse right over here.
Okay.
Turn that on. Get these screws out of the way. Let me get this out of the way. And let me turn the mouse on. Yeah, this gets a little confusing because there's 2 keyboards and 2 mice.
Was it no? Okay. No.
All right, and then we'll log in here pretty soon, and we'll be able to take a look at what's going on. So we're going to go ahead and let that boot up. I've got a flash drive with some software on it that will give me the information I need about your computer. So I'm grabbing that real quick. I thought I was going to grab it real quick. It's actually in here. Well, it's taking forever to log on, isn't it?
Exactly. See, that's one of the start of it. And I'll get a little box in the corner telling me, hey, this is the time this taking. The taking to log up, it'll go up to like 2 minutes and 57 seconds. It'll tell me that in the corner because I have a virus on it. It'll tell me, hey, you can do this to run it faster. And that's what the problem is. It takes a long time. And lately I haven't been able to get into my net zero.
I can't believe that service is still around anymore.
They don't take anybody because it's like overload. I've had it for almost 20 years.
Yeah, most people who are still using it have been using it that long or longer.
Yeah.
They've never let it go. But I just can't imagine it's going to sustain much longer. But be that as it may, let's take a look at what's happening here. We've got, so what you guys watching don't know is I have pictures and pictures and pictures, and so everything is shrunken down for us. So what I have to do is go full screen so we can see the details on our end. It doesn't change anything for you guys, except I can't see the chat or any of that when I do this.
See how that comes up in the corner right there? I get that all the time. It'll tell me, hey dog, it'll tell me, see how long does it take time to boot up? It'll give me that notice.
There we go, now I can see. So this says 1 minute and 22.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes these utilities themselves are causing systems to slow down because the utility has to load to measure the time, right?
Yeah.
All right, so let's do this. Let me turn this off. I don't know what's going on there. And the first thing I want to do, first, I noticed you've got Malwarebytes here, which is good. I recommend that product. I don't know what this My Identity Protection is. CCleaner is something I don't believe should be installed. So what I'm going to do is, first thing, before we even look at your specs, I want to look at the programs that are installed and remove anything that either you don't know what it is or I know what it is and I know you don't need it, just to clean it up a little bit. That's the very first step in any computer tune-up, is to just remove unwanted software. Sometimes people have software, they have no idea how it got on there.
Yeah, because as I go on my own, like since I've been doing things, I'm kind of like on my own now.
Yeah.
And I upload things. I don't even know what I'm doing because, like I told you, I'm not savvy on this part. I can work on it all day long.
All right. Well, let's go.
It'll pop up.
Let's go through it together. Yeah. All right. So this 360 total security. Do you know what this is?
I don't even know what that is.
You do not know.
I don't.
All right. Nope. I'm gonna uninstall it. Anytime I see security stuff, I get concerned. Upgrade, get free support. Oh my gosh. There's finally the I understand, continue to uninstall. Yes. Sometimes the security software causes more problems than it actually helps with.
Yeah.
And let's see. Take a look at, well, that's doing that. He says, Brytech09, he's another tech YouTuber. He's got a really good YouTube channel out of England. So it's just fun to listen to him talk.
Oh, okay.
He says he recognizes 3 antivirus programs right there. There is an irony to this person says he has 4. He says you have AVG, Avast, 360. Yeah, that will definitely slow you down for sure.
Okay.
All right, and that's why I want to do this first.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and then let me go back to full screen here.
The reason why I loaded up a lot of things on it because I couldn't get the normal help like I usually get at this agency.
I totally understand. You're trying to fix it yourself, and you didn't know me.
And I used to have, until I met Myron, I started talking. It's always good to network with people because that's how you find out different things. Because I was frustrated with my agents. They don't give you the kind of support that I really need and stuff. So I was trying things on my own, and I think I was just messing. I was getting further and further behind. Like you see those Adobe Flash, I was trying to load up the Adobe.
Now see, the Adobe Flash is considered an extraordinary security risk and shouldn't be used anymore because it's been replaced by something called HTML5 built into your browser, built into Chrome or Explorer or whatever your browser is. So whenever I see these Adobe Flash players, I take them out.
Thank you.
They're also a source of, you've got Opera. That's interesting. I don't see many customers with Opera. Nothing wrong with it. It's typically more in use by nerds than by regular people.
Yeah.
Which is a compliment to you. I think that has sounded like one.
Yeah. And I was just trying some things because I use
Java too. All these Javas, these all need to go.
Okay,
chances
cool.
are, here's the thing. Chances are Java's not even needed for whatever reason you installed it.
And say this comes up, and when that comes up, I'll go in and click on it and start cleaning. That's what I've been doing, but I didn't really know because I couldn't get the help from my agency like I used to. Even on my home computer, I would get help from them, but they don't do that anymore because we got so many contractors and they're like, no, I gotta. It's the numbers. It's all about the numbers.
Oh yes, I've worked for contractors, and
it's all about the numbers. You got to keep it going.
It's not about actually helping
you.
It's about how many people you helped in a day.
Yeah.
Or let me rephrase that. How many people you interacted with, or
exactly,
showed up at the desk. I worked for one of those contractors, and they used to play some real shady things with regards to.
We don't want to know how many people computer you got. How many people did you help? Because it's all about the volume.
Yeah, but when they say how many people did you help, it doesn't necessarily mean they helped them. It just means they interacted with them.
Yeah, they interacted, and that's the numbers up, because they put a.
There's no measure.
That could be a requirement in a contract. You need to talk to so many people. No matter how many people you help, I need you to get the numbers up. That's one of the requirements in the contract. Because they do the contract.
This is how it was in the 90s, and there was no measure then any more than there is now, which is sad to me.
Yeah.
With regards to actual performance, how many people did you actually help?
Yeah.
How many people did you just postpone, or how many situations did you spend a lot of time on and not resolve? It's all about, and I explain to people, when you call any technical support for free, their job is not to help you. Their job is to get you off the phone as quickly as possible. And the more they do that per hour, the more likely they're to get a raise.
They'll get paid a cost plus incentive fee, cost plus fee. And they send you, as long as they get that ticket back out, just said resolve, that's payment. That's in some contracts. I help you with your problem. If it's resolved, you get it back out there, and that goes to, and that's how you start billing, because you resolved the ticket.
Right.
Even though it may not be resolved, but that's one of the requirements of the contract. It's not how many people you help, but how many people you can get back and get that receipt in. So that's how the numbers.
That's right. That's absolutely right. And that's exactly how it was back in the day when I was. Let me back the camera up a little bit here since we're working up front. Sorry, guys. That's as far back as we can go. But that's how it was in the 90s. I can't believe that that's still a standard in the industry, and it's disappointing because the real issue here isn't about how many people you make contact with.
Yeah.
It's about how many people you actually help. And those who are doing the job and actually helping typically don't stay employed very long because they're not impressing their bosses with numbers. but the customers love them. The customers are like, that was the guy you call, you know.
Yeah.
And it's really discouraging to try and have pride and integrity and do the best job when your boss is telling you you can't.
Yeah.
And I've dealt with that. When I worked at Intel, we were contracted to do their desktop support, and we had what's called a 4-hour SLA. That's a service level agreement. That means when a ticket was opened, we had to have 90 some odd +% of meeting the SLA, the 4-hour window of making contact with the client once the ticket's been opened within 4 hours. So when we got a new guy, what we did is we would send him out to all the brand new tickets, regardless. It didn't matter what the ticket was about. It didn't matter if he was trained. He just had to find his way.
Yeah.
These campuses are huge.
Yeah.
Find his way to the customer's location, make a note in the ticketing system that he was there, and that because he's not trained, he doesn't know how to fix it, and to escalate it. Boom, we've met the SLA.
Exactly, yes.
And the poor customer is going through a formality thinking, oh, this person's here to help me. They never had any intention to help you.
Yeah.
That person was like, I was just told to show up, acknowledge, if I can fix it, I will, but without the training, what are the odds that's going to happen? But because they met the contractual obligation of addressing the customer in that 4-hour service level agreement, then at the end of the quarter or whatever length of term they're measuring, they go back to Intel and they go, here's how we're performing for you. Here's the number of calls we've done in 4 hours. They don't really look at how many were escalated or how many were closed.
You got out there, you address the problem, you diagnose what it was, and you get it back to the real person who's actually going to actually do the work. But still, you got it on the board.
Right. And that has been in the industry right from day one.
Yeah.
And this is the first I've been out of the industry a long time, so I thought by now this wouldn't be standard practice anymore, so I'm really kind of sad. Yeah. In fact, it's gotten worse when they put you out there on your own. I don't know how they can reasonably expect you to be able to do your job, or how they can reasonably expect to secure their clients' data.
Yeah.
If you make a bad judgment call and you download a piece of software that infects your machine and infects their network, and they don't know what's happening, and then customer data is then exposed, that just seems like a not sustainable, an unsustainable process.
Yeah, definitely.
And then everybody's going to point fingers over whose fault it is.
Because I'm in the field right now, I've never did contracts before until I got out here, and I wasn't supposed to do contracts. I had to come up to speed real quick, and I was working with nothing but military people.
Where are you from?
I'm from D.C. I came here from D.C.
Washington, D.C.
I was a contractor out there, and I moved out here, but when I came out here, they don't have time. There was no training curve. You need to know it.
You hit the ground running.
I hit the ground running, and then they treated me like I was a military person. I told them, I don't really know. They talk in codes.
So you're contracted with the military, but they talk to you as if you were military.
Yeah, military. I'm a federal government employee. I'm a civilian.
Right.
So they use all these codes. Delta Charlie. Who is Delta? Who is Charlie?
Right.
Or a basic order agreement. They're talking about a BOA. I said, a BOA? What is a BOA? And it got me behind because I couldn't keep up with them at first.
Right.
And I finally went to a guy to get up, so it was like, doing, but now I'm up to speed, and I was a year and a half, and they flew me around all these places. And I have to go. I could not say anything, but it got me up to speed.
Yeah, I think that's a real crime right now in, like I say, with employers.
Yeah.
The problem, as a technician, I can tell you that us technicians, we're seen as a cost center. We don't generate revenue for the company. So they want to minimize their cost as much as possible. And this is true for all support. That's why they want to get you off the phone as fast as possible.
Yeah.
They're paying for the phones, they're paying the employee for his time, and they're obligated to have this support line. And all the measuring is all done by how many people did you talk to today. And I'm going to stay away from the word help. Because they say, how many people did you help?
Yeah.
And they'll say how many people they talked to. That doesn't mean that's how many people they helped. And that's really disturbing to me. If you can't tell, that really bugs me.
It's the same thing in a company like sales, marketing, and advertising. They're way important than accounting. Accounting's not bringing in any money. You may be counting the dollars that are coming in. But the advertising, marketing, they're bringing in money. They're bringing in revenue.
Exactly.
So naturally, they put more money into that, and they cut down. They keep accounting down. You're not bringing any money, and you may be counting the money, but you're not bringing any revenue. You may be protecting the revenue that sales and marketing are bringing in.
I am waiting on your PC right now to uninstall this Avast browser thing. Avast secure browser, and it's just not. I clicked on it and it's like it's waiting on something, but I don't see anything for it to be.
You can figure over like maybe.
Let me just turn off the.
As you can see, when I started installing some of that stuff in 2011.
Oh yeah, all this is 2011 all through here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it waiting for me to click on something? No, it's not. So I'm gonna go ahead and just restart it. Yeah. I don't know what's hosing it up, but we're gonna reboot. It just may be because of the previous uninstall.
Yeah.
That it hadn't completed, or it needed to reboot rather.
Because basically I was trying anything to try to get it going.
Sure.
And every time something would pop up, and I think that's what I really messed up on. It would pop up, hey, you need the antivirus thing. I would go and click on that.
You've got to not believe most of those.
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
You know now. Okay.
Yeah. Just to get the things up, and it's like, man, it's going kind of crazy, and I have to rely on my computer. But like I said, I talked to Myra, like I was talking to her, she probably said, this guy really needs help. I said, Myra, you gotta come over and check it out.
All right, let's go back to the center camera. All right, we're rebooting again. And let's see, Windows should boot up a little bit faster this time. Then we're gonna have you log back in.
Oh, I thought that was a seat. No, I didn't know. I thought that was a seat. I was looking at it. Oh, that's a seat.
Let me get you a chair. There we go. You can even get your bottle of water there and make yourself at home.
Okay.
The guy I was telling you about an He says you have a lovely personality.
Thank you.
Now, if we could only say the same about him. No, I'm joking. Okay, so let's see.
So I was thinking that a lot of the problems I caused on my own by uploading. I was just uploading stuff.
I don't know that you caused them, but I don't think that you made them any better. You might have made it a little worse. But as long as, we're going to check it for viruses and such, but the biggest issue right now is the number of antivirus products you have. One antivirus is good, 4 is bad.
Oh, okay.
Right? If you took 2 aspirin, that's good for a headache, but you take the whole bottle, not so much.
Yeah.
So that is the main thing I'm trying to resolve right now is to just get all those antivirus products off of there and see what the true performance of the machine is without all that overhead consuming all those resources.
And then another thing, when I got to DOD, that's a no-no. My other agency would help me with my computer, but it's totally a no-no. And they wouldn't. That's one of the main things. They would not help you with your personal computer.
Oh no, not with a personal computer.
They wouldn't. There's DOD is real strict. Yeah.
Too much liability in that.
But and it got kind of thing. It's like, wow, get them to help me.
Look at how your start menu changed now. That's interesting. I'm going to fix that later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little free program called Revo Uninstaller. And I always find it a bit humorous that some people install this product. Why would you install a product whose job it is to uninstall products? But anyway, here on this flash drive, I should have a copy of the Revo Uninstaller. I don't know what version it is, but we'll find out. This should be the latest version. And this is a little bit better and more thorough of an uninstaller than going through Windows built-in uninstaller. Now, normally I do the Windows one first because it's there and it usually does a good enough job. But when we run into these little hiccups like we had to reboot, a lot of times with Revo, we don't run into that and we can uninstall a bunch of things at once Because if we have to reboot every time we take something off, we're going to be here a while, because there's a lot of stuff on here I'm seeing that needs to come off. So let's do, all right, let's try the secure browser thing. This is already better. And what's great is being a portable application, it means I don't have to install it. It runs right off of the flash drive.
Oh,
and then
okay.
when I'm done, it doesn't leave anything behind. So it's just better for me, it's better for you, and it's for home users, it's free. They just download it and they can use it. But if you don't know it exists, and that's half the problem when you're trying to help yourself, is how do you know what tools are available, what tools are good, what tools are bad? Some people spend money for tools that they could have used a different tool that's free that does a better job.
Exactly.
So sometimes helping yourself costs you more money than taking it to a tech, but being a technician is a self-proclaimed position. So if you say I'm a computer tech, you have the same qualification I do, technically.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There's no school or diploma for computer technician. There's information management systems and IT, but that doesn't really tell you much about hardware, software, or experience. And so as a result, there's a lot of people doing the job that, in my opinion, have no business being in the business. And it's difficult then when you meet a new customer who's been burned by a self-proclaimed technician, how to convince them to trust you, that you're not just the same kind of person they just previously dealt with. And that's the barrier I run into all the time. But I will tell you, working on customers' computers is, especially in today's, with everybody liking to sue, it is a bad idea to have anybody you're not paying or you don't trust working on your machine, right? And so with companies, they're paying their employees, they're not paying them to fix your home computer. Even if you use your home computer for work, you should see all the different problems that come up. Geek Squad has had a number of complaints, not recently, but over the years, where somebody claims there was inappropriate contact, or the tech's there with the customer, and the customer can say something happened, whether it happened or didn't, and it's a whole nightmare. All right. Could you tell us why? No, I'm not going to tell them why. I don't know what this is. Let's do AVG. Let's get that off of here. Oh, this must be the Revo Uninstaller software, I guess. It looks different than I remember it. Let's do the moderate mode. Shut this down. Uninstall. Uninstall. All right, well, that's doing it. I can go back, check in with the chat room and see what we've been missing here. Somebody in the chat says, I have Adobe Flash Player on my PC. Should I uninstall it? Yes, if you have Adobe Flash or you have Adobe Java, well, whoever owns Java now. Is it Adobe? Anyway, if you have either Flash or Java, they're considered to be a huge security risk. My suggestion and my advice is to remove, in many cases, people have multiple copies of Flash and Java. I suggest to remove each and every one of them. And then, if you're using your computer and there is something that says you need Flash or Java, you can download it again for free. So it's not like it's costing you any money. But ideally, that should not happen.
Oh, stop right.
Scroll up.
You said, Elite Canadian, can you give this man a SSD, please? What's that?
So a solid state drive.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what a solid state drive is?
No.
All right, stay there for a minute. Let me pull out a, I'm sure I've got some test units here I can demonstrate. got something here somewhere. I just have to remember where I put it.
We deal with this all the time. Clearly it's going to get his updated on NT. Trojan virus. Just don't know.
All right, this ought to work. This will be good enough.
Want.
All right, so this looks a lot like this, right? These two things are the same.
Uh-huh.
All right, so this is a mechanical hard disk drive, and this is what you're entrusting all of your data to, everything that's your world. And this is why we talk about making backups or making copies.
Oh, okay.
Because, let me show you how this works. Inside of here, show everybody there. Inside of here, you'll see there's this platter that spins. Less like a record or a CD.
Yeah.
And then this is what's called the head, and it moves right across the surface of this. And it's so close, it is like 1/5, maybe 1/10 the distance of a human hair, the thickness of a human hair. It's thinner than that. It rides on a very soft cushion of air. It can never make contact with this platter or your data's gone.
Oh, okay.
And then different hard drives can have, this one's got 2 platters, if you see, and there could be 4. That's why this has so many arms on it.
Oh, okay.
And they put a head, or think of it like a record player, a needle on both sides.
Okay.
So when you're using your computer and you hear it chattering away, that's this thing moving around, and it's grabbing all the data from all the platters as you need it.
Oh, okay.
But as you can imagine, this whole system is quite fragile. If you drop it or kick it or bump it when it's in the middle of a write process, because of that surface between the head and the platter is microscopic.
Oh, okay.
When they make contact, it creates irreparable harm or damage. And when the data's gone like that, it's gone. So when we talk about, government wanting to destroy data, they usually physically destroy the drive.
Yeah, I've been over in some of the shops that actually have people sit down there and actually destroy everything.
That's the only safe way. Now this is a solid state drive. You'll see, first of all, they're a lot smaller. And inside of it, it looks like this.
Oh, okay, these guys.
Now if you notice the
QAs
connectors,
work on
you notice the
like
connectors are the same?
Uh-huh.
And if I show everybody here, you see these connectors right up here? They match these connectors right up here. So it's the same connectors, so it makes it compatible with all computers, that if they have this, then this will work.
Oh, okay.
But this has no moving parts. It's in a solid state.
Oh, okay.
And all your data is put on these chips. Now that's not to say these never fail. These can still fail, but for different reasons. But the lifespan on these is far better. These all fail. It's just a matter of time.
Oh, okay.
Well, these will fail too. But the reason why these fail generally will be the controller either goes bad, or they have a limited number of times they can be written to before the little cells die out.
Oh, okay.
And they use something called wear leveling, where they don't reuse the same cell over and over. They try and spread the data around, and because of that, it makes data destruction almost impossible. So what has to happen again, if you want to destroy the data on a solid state drive, you basically need to make sure every single chip is broken. So they have shredders for these. And they have like I said, they have a limited number of times they can be written to. However, for most people, they will never hit that limit before they have to replace the drive because it's too small in capacity or it's too slow compared to what's new. So in many cases, people will replace a solid state drive for other reasons, not because it's bad, but because faster, larger alternatives are available for less money. And the reliability on these is far, far greater than these. But here's where the difference comes in. You can buy one of these, say 1 terabyte for $50. A 1 terabyte one of these will run you $200 to $400.
Oh,
but
okay.
this reads and writes 5 times faster than this. But if you need a bunch of storage, like if you're a photographer or you make videos, this won't be big enough and it'll cost you a fortune. You can buy a 12 terabyte hard drive for $400. It's not even available for a consumer SSD. The biggest these go to for consumers is 2 terabytes. That's $800.
Wow.
A 12 terabyte hard drive is $400.
Yeah.
So you get capacity very, very cheap, but the read and write speeds are what you're used to.
Yeah, so how about in the long run? Would that be better in the long run?
We have to see how much data you're using.
Okay.
In my opinion, the single best upgrade you can make to any computer is to replace one of these with one of these. And that's what they're saying, you know, please upgrade this man to an SSD because on your system, that will definitely improve your performance. I guarantee it will improve your performance. But yeah, that's the inside of a traditional mechanical hard drive.
Oh, okay.
And once these are exposed, once somebody takes the lid off, that's it, you've ruined the drive. Because a speck of dust is larger than the cushion between the head and the platter.
Oh, okay.
And a fingerprint, dust, any sort of debris, that's it. The platter's fried. It'll probably work for a couple hours with the lid off.
Yeah.
but it's on its way out at that point.
Oh, okay.
And so yeah, that's what a mechanical drive looks like on the inside. A lot of people say, is it safe? You heard about not keeping magnets away from the computer? Right? Well, that was back in the days when we used to use floppy disks.
Right.
Because they were magnetic-based media. So when people say, is it okay to, you shouldn't use a magnetized screwdriver, I say, no, you're supposed to use a magnetized screwdriver. They go, but what about my data? Well, look, all your data's on the hard drive, and one of the strongest rare earth magnets is right inside of here. It's not working for me. If I took this piece out, the thing that causes this head to move back and forth is a rare earth magnet, and they're fun to take out, and it's sitting right there next to your data. So if that powerful magnet can sit that close without harm, I think a magnetized screwdriver is going to be okay.
Yeah, okay.
So that's the lesson I try to instill on folks that are still offering advice from 1987.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was, you kept magnets away from computers in the 80s and 90s. Today, it's strongly recommended because if you drop a screw and it falls in a power supply or anything like that, you'll wish you had a magnetized screwdriver.
Oh, yeah.
So, and this has taken forever to uninstall. They said, I wonder how long it'll take ABG to uninstall. He could reinstall Windows faster than this. Maybe. All right, I'm gonna go put this away where we're waiting. But, so what's interesting though, when you look at hard drives or solid state drives, you cannot tell their capacity by looking at them because they're all the same physical dimensions.
Oh, okay.
So whether this drive is 30 years old and is 40 megabytes in size or 40 gigabytes in size or 4 terabytes in size, it's still the same physical dimensions, and the same holds true for these. This could be 64 gig, 128, 256, 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte. It's the same dimensions regardless of capacity.
Oh, okay.
So we have to read the labels or run software to determine what the drive is.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'm gonna go put this stuff away, and we're still waiting on that to complete, which is taking forever. And you wanna be really cautious of free products on the internet. Generally speaking, if the product is free, the product is you. I mean, we've seen a lot of this stuff, hubbub from Facebook, and how they're selling people's data. Well, that's because Facebook's free.
Exactly.
Right? Same with Google saving your searches because Google's free. When we start paying for services, then we can reasonably expect our data to be secured and not sold. But that's how they make money.
Yeah.
And anything that's, whether it's antivirus that's free, they're making money off of you by you using this free product. And I can tell you, I'm not aware of any antivirus product that's not free that takes this long to uninstall. So there are often other ways you're paying, such as in your time.
Yes, definitely.
So just a little food for thought.
Delete the files and edit the registry. computer in the time. He
Wow,
said
it's
you
taking
can build a
forever.
new computer in the time this is taking.
Somebody said you can get a Crucial MX 500 2TB SSD for about $400. That's a really good price. I was looking at, there's another type of solid state drive, just to add more confusion.
Yeah.
And it's about the same shape and size as this. It's about the size of a stick of gum.
Wow.
And it just, on a modern motherboard, it just plugs in. You don't have any cables.
Oh, okay.
And it replaces hard drives and SSDs. It's effectively an SSD in a different form factor. And they're more expensive. And a solid state drive will probably read 4 or 5 times faster than this hard drive.
Oh, okay.
And then the solid state drives that are sold in this form factor, when they're called an NVMe or NVMe, they'll read 4 or 5 times faster than the solid state drive.
Oh,
So when
okay.
it comes to performance and speed, it's all about the money.
Oh, okay.
But this system's too old to accept that. So I think the pricing I was giving you was on the fastest. So I was being corrected in the chat because I wasn't clear when I said it. Somebody said they got a Samsung 1 terabyte solid state drive for $179. Again, if it's a SATA-based SSD versus an NVMe, you can almost always double the price for the NVMe because it's twice as fast. And
so my computer's going to naturally run slow because of how old it is.
yeah, the technology in it is from 2011.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
So it's only going to run as fast as possible as it could have in 2011. Now, by putting a solid state drive in it, that will be compatible, even though solid state drives really didn't exist, or if they did, they were very, very expensive. That will improve the performance of the machine, but all of this stuff in here is still going to run at the same speed. But a lot of times what people are waiting on is reading and writing the data. And that's why changing to a solid state drive can have such an impact on performance. On old laptops and old desktops, it's probably the single best investment you can make. Mm-hmm. And then the other good thing about it is because, let's say we put a solid state drive in here, and then you decide you don't want this computer, or you replace it, or let's say the computer just dies, you can take the solid state back out and use it as a USB drive if you want to, or plug it into another computer and just move it around. So it's not like it has to stay here. So that makes it a really sound investment upgrade, because unlike your memory, we don't use this kind of memory anymore. So that's not going to work. You can't take that out and use it in another system.
Oh, okay.
Unless it's another system from 2011.
So my computer's basically running slow because all these things I got signed on.
Well, right now, because we have all of these antiviruses installed, and look at how long it's taking us to get these antivirus programs off of here. I mean, it's ridiculous. And it even says, look, your computer even went to sleep just now. It says this may take a while. And they weren't kidding. It's taking forever. Some people say it's not even going to uninstall. Many people are suggesting that we go into what's called safe mode and take everything out that way, which at this point, I'm starting to agree with them, because something's happening in the background. Your computer is basically juggling a bunch of different things. And the more things it juggles, the longer it takes for each rotation of items to go, make a full, to get its turn again.
Oh, okay.
And the likelihood of it dropping something or crashing what it's juggling, the more things it's juggling, the more likely it is to run out of resources and crash. And so part of the reason why this is taking so long is because the computer is doing so many other things that we're not seeing. It's happening behind the curtain, if you will. So I think I'm going to agree with the suggestions here. We're going to shut it off and go into safe mode. And the way we do that, and it's never, ever a good idea to turn off a computer while it's in the middle of doing something. But at this point, we don't have much to lose. So
no.
I just pull the plug. And now what we're going to do is we're going to hit the F8. You see this F8 button? Hold on a second. What I'd like you to do is just start tapping that F8. Just start tapping it. Tap, 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 tap. Keep going. Keep going. Stop. And then you see safe mode listed there. So we use the arrow key down once. It says safe mode, and then I hit enter. And now it's going to look a little bit differently when the system comes on. And what it's doing now is it's not going to load those antivirus products. It's not going to load all those utilities or other third-party software that you have.
Yeah.
It's going to load the bare essentials that Windows needs just to work.
Oh, okay.
So the screen's going to look different because it's not going to have what are called video drivers. Everything's going to be bigger, limited number of colors. And that is so that it's just the absolute basics. And with that, we'll go back into the uninstaller program and things should uninstall a little smoother.
I wonder why. Is it numb? Okay. Let me,
Hit enter first. All right, now you can enter your. We'll just use these numbers up here because sometimes
Okay.
numlock's not on. We can't see because it's hiding the password. There we go. You see how your icons are a lot bigger now?
yeah.
All right, and then this little window pops up and it just tells you that you're in safe mode. All right, so now I'm going to bring up, we're going to go right back to the default uninstaller here. Programs and features, and then we go to AVG Antivirus. Uninstall, uninstall. Now, let's see if we get a little more progress, a little faster now. Did you make a new friend, Jimmy? Is that your new friend? Huh, buddy? The other one will only be your friend if you give him food. Look at him, he's like, what? Did you say something about food? Here I come. Here he comes. I heard food. Where is it? Where's the food? Do you guys want a cookie? You want a cookie? All right, we'll get you a cookie. We'll get you a cookie. Here, let me hand that over back to you if you want your water there.
Steve Barber, I think I saw smoke coming out the computer earlier.
Yeah, that's a little.
Yeah, I think the screw came out.
It looks like.
Someone said, I want a cookie.
Oh wow! Look at all the dust in the card reader. This would almost look better without this piece on here at this point.
Yeah.
See, there's like a metal.
Yeah.
There it is.
Okay.
I'm just gonna set that down. Yeah, that's really dusty. Nothing some duct tape won't fix.
Yeah. You need to download Avatar Remove.
Does he still use AOL to get on the internet? No, he's using NetZero, right? NetZero.
Yeah, NetZero is my, I go to Google, but NetZero is my email. That's just the email address.
Gotcha.
The clean install.
Did the PC get the leaf blower treatment? Yeah, that's the first thing we did before we got started. Although I just noticed a huge area that I missed right in here. But I'll get that later. Everybody's suggesting you open your wallet and just buy yourself a new computer.
Oh, okay. I mean, you know, that's at least I like to
But anybody,
people have
that's not really
ideas.
helpful advice. I mean, you obviously, I'm sure that thought has occurred to you.
Lisa, I just kind of want to know what was the problem. That's my main concern. At least
Well, we're
I'd
not
like to
even
know.
that far yet. We're not even into
Yeah.
it. We're finding a problem, but that doesn't
Yeah.
mean that's all the problems. And we can't move on beyond this problem until, obviously, we have to resolve these install issues until we can look at other install issues or other issues. Yeah, I mean, this is crazy how long this takes.
Yeah.
Is the client an administrator? I don't even understand that question.
I'm a contract administrator, AKA contract specialist.
Which tells us nothing about what you do, but that's okay.
Yeah. Monitor contracts for GD and Boeing.
There's an AVG removal tool that Brytech is recommending to us, so I'm going to grab that right now, and I'm going to move that to the flash drive, which I've got back here. Let's put it on here. Oh, it came out with dust on it. I guess that's one way of cleaning a flash drive. Or the USB port, rather. Yeah. All right, so let's take that. So I've downloaded that. Thank you, Brytech, for the link. AVG Uninstaller, where is it? AVG Remover, there it is. Let's copy that and then paste it over to the flash drive. There we go. And then I can eject that. And then we'll plug it back in over here. Yeah, this is just not moving. It's just, this may be part of the problem.
Copy that.
You know, this one product could be causing the vast majority of this slowness.
And so that's probably one of the products I put on there, isn't it?
Oh, I'm sure it didn't come with it.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna pull the plug on it again. All right. And then we're gonna go turn it back on, and I'm gonna boot it back up normally so I can get the. Go ahead and hit enter, please. Thank you. All right, we'll try this again.
The Geek Squad will make a killing on this.
Yeah, and
computer.
this because they bill you by the hour. Yeah. Those Geek Squad vehicles that are all customized, that they can't afford those by giving away their service.
I mean, I didn't come over here to think that maybe this can be fixed. And most like I said, this thing is probably really old because
Yeah, but we can at least
Yeah.
we can at least get it cleaned up without
Yeah.
being so extreme as to reinstall it.
Yeah.
The problem if we reinstall anything is you'll lose any software you'll have installed. And I'm assuming you've got software you need installed on here.
software I need installed.
No, you don't have things like Microsoft Office, Word, Excel.
Yeah, I have all that on it, but that was
So if I wipe it, you lose it all.
I lose it all.
Yeah. So you'd have to find a source for that to put that back on.
Well, they gave us the thing in the government. I can go right back there. I just gotta
Well, I mean, in a worst case scenario, we can default to that, but as a technician, I find it to be it's not a fix. It's a lazy way to do what we call a nuke and a pave, where we just nuke it, wipe it out, and then repave it or reinstall it fresh and clean like it was new. But when you do that, what you've got is a computer with nice, shiny, optimized windows and nothing else. All your data, we can back it up and put the data back, but the data's gone, everything's gone. And you're just left with a basic Windows install. And if you want to do that, we can certainly do it. My goal is to try and keep it as intact as possible so that it's familiar to you when you get it back and you want to use it. All right, let me go back to the flash drive now. And then let's copy the AVG remover file. And close that. We'll put that right there. Let's see if that helps us out any better. We're back to waiting again, so we'll see if this is, there we go. Maybe did not find any active product, run it anyway. Well, it seems to be doing something. I can hear the hard drive chattering away.
Don't have a clue about computers.
Yeah, you know what? People like this, they don't belong. So sometimes, like I say, we have people come in.
Yeah, I have people that come to our face and they'll say some like crazy things. It's like, yeah, I don't know anything about it.
So the problem is they're looking for attention, and by acknowledging it, you've just given them attention. But they're not going to be around much longer. All those names you see in blue, those are all my moderators, and they help keep everything civil and we put ourselves out there, and like I said, I could give away $100 bills, and there'd be people telling me I do it wrong or just attacking for the sake of attacking. And so we just boot them out pretty quick here. They don't have a very long run on my channel.
And sometimes people want to just start some negative dialogue, crazy stuff. Because sometimes people post stuff on there. It's like, why would you even start a conversation?
Why even continue that conversation? Yeah. Best to just ignore them, and eventually they'll get bored and go away.
Yeah, definitely. So that program right there is hard to uninstall.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I've never had this kind of a problem with it. I mean, it does take a while to uninstall. And then on a newer computer, it wouldn't take as long. Part of this has to do with the fact that this computer's older, so things take longer.
Yeah.
And it's one of the reasons why, like if somebody, sorry, I just lost my train of thought. If somebody brings me an older computer to a point where I'm not going to work on it because it takes too much of my time.
Yeah.
And people will throw a lot of money, or will end up having to throw a lot of money into paying for labor when that money could have gone towards a new, faster computer.
Yeah, definitely.
And, AVG has stopped working. That's interesting. And the whole system seems to have locked up.
And so moving forward, I was thinking that I really like desktops. I work on a laptop at work, but at home you always use a desktop. And I just said, I know I'm always going to have a computer at work. You know, as long as I'm working, I'm going to have a laptop, you know, to have. But I prefer like to have a desktop at home.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, because the new ones, they come around, they're so small now. They don't have hard drives on them or external drives or anything like that.
Well, let's see what we can do to help you out here.
Remove crash.
There's definitely some strangeness happening on the system. The whole thing just locked up on me. So I'm gonna do one more time. We're gonna just try uninstalling a few other things.
Okay.
We're just gonna ignore that one. We're gonna progress down as if we had uninstalled.
Okay.
And see if we continue to have any sort of lockups, like it just froze on us. And we're gonna start Windows normal.
Virus protecting. Somebody said it could be a virus protecting.
So I had a customer bring me a Dell like this before, and here's how I fixed that one.
Those are shotguns?
Yeah, 12-gauge plugs. And you know what? The computer has never caused the customer grief ever again.
Yeah.
This was the magic fix.
The fastest way to fix a computer.
And it's very therapeutic.
Yeah.
Feels great. But that computer's never crashed since I did that to it. Talk about a literal magic bullet.
So with me, you know, now that I'm a certified contract specialist, and I'm beginning to make a move to agriculture or veterans, or because I'm gonna definitely leave this agency that I'm at now.
Yeah.
And I just said I'm gonna probably get a lot of things over again. I just said, you know what, I'm gonna give one last shot to look at and see exactly what is really wrong, because I ain't got no problem buying another computer. Well, you know, I just want to see, just in case, you know.
I mean, I don't even know what the specifications of this computer are yet. We haven't even gotten that far.
Oh, okay.
Sort of the first thing I like to do when I get a computer that I've never seen before from a customer. See, now the control panel's not there yet. Oh, it is there. It's just me. I'm not seeing it because it's.
Oh, okay.
I see it down there. Okay. First thing I like to do is just go to programs and features and start taking things off. It's just my procedure. It's just a routine or a ritual. And then once that's done, then when I start running utilities, they run faster. That's why.
Oh, yeah.
So let's go ahead and take CCleaner off. That should uninstall without any problem. It's a small program. All right, that's gone. Let's take off this eBay link.
I was always wondering why my screen was black. Did I turn it black or?
Let's just wallpaper.
Oh, okay.
So you can set that. I actually prefer when I work on it to not have that distraction. So having a solid color background
Black is good.
makes it easier on my eyes to see
Oh,
things.
okay.
Like I wasn't seeing the start menu, the control panel, but it's just see-through for some reason. I think there's a setting here in the start menu to change its opacity.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's gone. We'll remove this Google toolbar. Anytime I see the word toolbar, I take them out.
Oh, okay.
We've got a couple Javas in there. We've got an old version of Malwarebytes. That should be uninstalled and replaced with a more modern version. Looks like at some point you had a Netgear wireless adapter hooked up to that.
I have it in my car.
You still use it?
Yeah, I still use it.
Okay. VLC media player, that's a good, I recommend that, it's good. Live Essentials, WinRAR. So everything looks pretty good. I want to take this trusted ID off of there. I have to wait for this Google toolbar to finish first. All right, let's take a look at what the specs are, because we can do a couple things at the same time.
Now, what are the specs?
That's what I'm going to find out right now.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Let's turn this off so I can see. There we go. Wow, it's really struggling. This program usually runs pretty quickly. This is not a good sign. It's usually much, much faster than this.
Yeah. You may have to take out your shotgun again.
Maybe we both need to do it at the same time.
Yeah.
Wow. I've never seen this take this long. But I guess I'm a little spoiled. I work on a lot more recent hardware.
It's been hardware than this one.
Wow. That's just crazy.
So how do you get all your data off your, like I have a flash drive, I have some stuff on a flash drive
Yeah.
that I keep on there.
There's lots of different ways to copy your data to another location, whether that's in the cloud or to a flash drive, or if they're small files that you email them to yourself and they stay, stuck in your email in the cloud, or services like Carbonite and Mosey offer services where they just automatically back up anything in the My Documents folder will go automatically up into their service encrypted with no space limitation, and it's done on an annual basis. It's like $60 a year. It's slow, but it's automated, so you don't have to think about it.
Oh, okay.
The minute you change a file or delete a file, it'll make that change. But if you're using a hotspot, which is what you're saying is your primary source for internet, it'll consume all your bandwidth in no time if you've got a lot of data, and it's very slow.
Yeah, like mine, it's because a friend of mine before he left and went back to DC, he sit and watched Power on my computer, so I immediately got the email that night. I told him, I said, I thought he was using it for something else, because it's going to be slow until the 20.
They say his Firefox version is 55. It should be version 60.
Whose hard drive?
His hard drive might be having problems, and yeah, it's entirely possible that the hard drive is failing. Could have RAM issues. Could have bad RAM, could be. It is very, very slow. Try the 32-bit version of CPU. Yeah, I mean, it couldn't hurt. Because we are just getting nowhere with this.
Yeah, that's the third major finding.
What's that?
Finding, we call them findings when we have, when you start reviewing a contract, you start having issues. Are those some findings? So we got to note that.
Sometimes one thing leads to the next thing, leads to the next thing. It's getting stuck on something called updates, which I don't understand why. Wow, this is. I'm glad we're doing this live so people can see the warts and everything that comes along with. A lot of times on YouTube, people. Just like baking shows.
Yeah.
They don't show they fast forward to where they edit out all of the big delays or unexpected consequences. Yeah. But this is real, people. This is real. All right, so we're running into a little habit here of just having to pull plugs to get this thing to function. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to see if I can get this to boot to this flash drive and run a test on the memory. Because I suspect my viewers who are suggesting, they're having their own little bets happening right now. Let's see, F12. they think you got some bad memory.
Bad memory?
Yeah, but I have a test here, and we're going to run this test. And what this is doing right now is we have some specs now. We see you have an AMD Athlon X2 processor, which is quite old. It's running at 3,000 megahertz or 3 gigahertz.
Yeah.
Which CPUs sold today still run at that speed, but they're faster because they have faster interfaces and data transfer buses.
Oh, okay.
The installed amount of memory appears to be 4 gigs, and you've got 4 sticks. That means each one of those sticks of RAM is 1 gig each. Now, by today's standards, we install sticks up to 16 gigs each.
Oh, okay.
We typically install them in 4s, 8s, or 16s. And a modern computer, a modern consumer-based computer from, let's say, Intel would hold a maximum of 64 gigs of RAM. This system probably is limited to 16 gigs maximum.
Oh, okay.
4 sticks of 4. Right now you've got 4 sticks of 1. And the good news is, so far, it's passing all the tests. It's already on test number 4. It does a series of like 11 or 12 or 13 tests to create one pass.
Yeah.
And the whole process could take an hour to run, but I just want to let this run briefly just to see if anything pops up right away, something obvious, but it's looking fine so far. And then while that's running, because at least it's running.
Yeah.
At least we're getting somewhere. So we can look back in the chat then.
Exactly.
What is the service tag number on this Dell? That's a good question. And for that, I need to get my old man glasses out so I can read it. All right, service tag. Is 3. It's an Inspiron 570. Yeah, I think Windows needs more than 4 gigs of RAM to operate.
Yeah.
And what happens when it runs out of memory is it uses virtual memory, which is space on your hard drive. And an older hard drive like this is very slow compared to RAM. That creates a slowness in and of itself.
Oh, okay.
So when Dell and HP and all the others, when they make these machines, they generally make them as cheap as possible. And they do that by putting in smaller amounts of memory and slower hard drives. That reduces the overall cost to the consumer. But in all fairness, even if this was top of the line in 2011, it would still be, well, it would be a lot better, but it would still be at a point of considering replacement. I've got 2 systems at one of my clients that I built in 2011. They're running Windows 7 on them. And I'm telling them, despite the fact that they run fine, we should go ahead and upgrade them just as a preventive measure so we don't have to deal.
Okay.
You know, the older something is, the more likely it is to have a problem, that's all. So it depends how important the computer really is to you. You know, if it's a toy, if it's a novelty, or if it's something you're going to rely on for work. Just like a car, you know, if you're an Uber driver, you need a good, reliable car.
Exactly.
Right? People say, I don't have the money because I'm an Uber driver, but then if you don't have the car, you're not even going to be an Uber driver and you won't have any. So that's an individual decision for you to make, but it's definitely, it's a shame that you haven't used it for 5 years when it was more modern.
Yeah, I used it after 5 years. Let me see, yeah, I started using 2016.
Most amount of memory, they're telling me in the chat is 8 gigabytes of RAM is the most that will go in this, which is shocking. And even that is just a bare amount for Windows to run.
Oh, okay.
8 gigs is what the minimum I would install in any new computer, and I typically go with 16. But 16 gigs of memory today, you're looking at around $150 for modern memory. For this, it would be even more expensive because it's not made anymore. Even though it's slower, the value goes up because it's harder to find. So you'd say, well, geez, for that much money, I could buy a new machine. And they go, yeah, exactly. And you'd have a warranty.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so let's shut this back down again because it doesn't look like RAM is an issue. It looks like the RAM is running just fine. So we're going to boot back into Windows one more time. So let me get this plugged back in. The CPU for that computer is an Inspiron 570 AMD Athlon 2 X2 250 running at 3 gigahertz. Yeah, and that's what we already said. We definitely would not be putting Windows 10 on this. It's not going to be compatible. It won't have enough power to run Windows 10. Looks like it's DDR2. Just go ahead and enter. Did you hit enter? Mm-hmm. There you go. Oh, I see why we're on a delay. I'm looking at the wrong feed. This is our live feed right here, and it's delayed before the viewers see it. See how long this delay is? Mm-hmm. There it goes. And then go ahead and have you log back in one more time. We're going to run one more test on that. We're in this an hour and 22 minutes, and we're no further now than when we started.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I have an idea now of.
It's just like when I'm going into negotiations. We negotiate, we didn't get anywhere.
Yeah, but here's the thing. This isn't negotiating with a computer. It can give you all it's got, and there's just no more beyond that, you know. All right, let's see. Let's take a look at the hard drive health. Something on here is sick, and I don't know if it's a software or hardware problem yet. Crystal disk info. It says the hard drive is good. It's a 1 terabyte hard drive. Firmware XC49, SATA 300. It's not a bad drive. It's not a particularly slow drive. It's only been on for 4,000 hours, which isn't a lot. It's been powered on 2,500 times. So apparently you've used it. 167 days of use on the hard drive. And then let me go back to the performance.
Is that good since 2011? 67 days?
It's pretty low usage, yeah. I see drives with of that age with 50, 60,000 hours on them.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Crystal disk mark. Let's take a look at that. Let's see what these numbers look like. A read speed of 110 on a mechanical drive is not bad.
Oh, okay.
So the hard drive is not as bad as I thought it was. So there's got to be something else going on. Brightech said it was already booting up a lot faster. I didn't notice. Did you notice it booted up any faster?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I didn't notice it either.
Sells this new Wi-Fi.
Sysinternals? Yeah, that's a good idea. I've got sysinternals on that flash. I should have it on the flash drive, I think. Ooh, boy, that's a painful reading, that 0.915.
Uh-huh.
Ouch. Here's what we're going to do, just for the sake of experimentation. I'm going to go ahead and let that finish, but I'm going to grab a spare solid state drive.
Okay.
And we can install Windows on it just to see.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because that'll be a best case scenario.
Yeah.
Then you can decide if it's worth it to you to pay for a solid state drive, or if you'd be better off just buying a new computer with all new warranty and everything else.
Yeah.
So let me grab a solid state drive that we can experiment with. Well, that figures. Just dropped it. I've been telling my audience about this company. I think they're a pretty neat company. It's called AData.
Oh, okay.
And the reason I like them is they're not the highest performing drive, but they're nowhere compared to a hard drive. I mean, they're very respectably fast, I guess is what I'm trying to say. They're not slow. They're just not the fastest you can buy. And because they're not a name brand most Americans recognize, they are very aggressively priced.
Carrie, go for the upsell. Replacing world possible AGA issues this month. Experience in the future.
Yeah, the hard drive's not terrible. So I had ordered these because they were a really good price.
Uh-huh.
These drives a couple years ago of this capacity, this is 960 gigs, which is about the same as this.
Uh-huh.
These were selling for around $300. Now, they're about 140. So they're less than half of what they used to cost. Look how small it is.
Wow. That is small.
So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna wait for that test to finish. And I'm gonna get my Windows 7 installation. My Commodore VIC-20 is faster than that PC. You remember the Commodore VIC-20?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, remember it? Back in the 80s. Is this thing finished yet? Yeah, it looks like it finally completed.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to save these results. And let's see, we'll get out your keyboard here. We're going to do
That's funny seeing grass in the backyard. People have rocks.
I'm going to call this Dell Inspiron. Was this a 570? with an HDD. That's all right, and it will save that. I'll close this, close this. And then we're gonna shut this down. Go back to my main camera again while that powers down.
So you never really got a chance to really take any of the uninstall any of the software.
I got a couple things uninstalled, but everything else is taking a very long time, and it seems to be freezing or locking up the machine. So what I'm going to do now is we're not going to alter anything on your hard drive, so whatever data you've got will stay. And we're going to use this hard drive, which is brand new, and we're not going to install it. We're just going to do the very bare minimum to get it hooked up. Dell made this connector upside down, which is interesting. Another reason I don't like these pre-built computers. They tend to do things whichever easier for manufacturing, not necessarily easier for the customer to maintain or upgrade or repair. And you can see we can just let that hang there. And then I'm going to take my Windows 7 USB drive and we're going to plug that in. And we're going to turn this back on. And now this time, let's see, let's go back to the other screen. It should have no choice but to boot to the flash drive, which it is doing. Let me borrow that keyboard, thank you. And we can put we can put us back on screen. There we are. All right, here we go. Enter, enter.
That's the problem.
We're going to choose custom and next. And Windows 7 is installing. So now we just wait a few minutes and then we have to deal with drivers after that, but we'll just see how that progresses as we move along here. So, well, that is installing. Who in the chat room has any questions? This would be a good time to ask while we're waiting for Windows 7 Home to install.
That's the delay speaking.
They're actually impressed with how fast that booted and started installing.
Oh, okay.
Compared to how it's been running. So you may just be having an operating system issue. I'm not going to go too far into this install. This is mostly just for the sake of comparison to see if it's even worth considering.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't make that big of a difference in the performance of the machine, then it definitely will help you to decide whether or not to just replace it. There's really nothing in here we can upgrade beyond the solid state drive.
Oh, okay.
It wouldn't make any sense, like I say, to put any more memory in it. And the way Dell has designed this case, like you notice how they just give you 4 slots here? It would be a little challenging, I think, to find a motherboard that would fit in there, although it may be possible. And then this power supply is a cheap power supply. It may not deliver enough power. So at that point, you know, even if we could reuse the case, we'd still want to replace the power supply. We'd want to replace the hard drive. We could still keep the DVD, but a DVD drive's $15 new, and a nice case is $50. So you're only saving $65. So to me, it'd be just for $65, you'd build a whole new computer.
Yeah.
You know, for the added $65. And a new computer only consists of about 7 parts. It's a motherboard, a CPU, memory, case, power supply, and storage. That's it.
Yeah, most of my stuff I have on a flash drive. Because I've been using that flash drive for a long time.
Yeah.
Most of the things.
Well, I hope you have it on numerous flash drives, because when a flash drive fails, it may not give you a warning.
I had one fail one time, and I started all over again. I got a chance to go back to my computer. That one just broke apart.
Yeah, well, if they break apart, they probably still work.
I don't think I ever kept that thing either.
But when they stop working, like I say, they often don't give you a warning. They'll just fail.
Oh,
And that's why it's important that you have multiple copies or copies of the data in at least 2 different locations, if it's important to you. And like I said, whether you email it to yourself or you know, they have services like Microsoft OneDrive and Dropbox. I'm sure you've heard of Dropbox.
Yeah.
If the files are, you know, documents, spreadsheets, those are easily, quickly uploaded and downloaded. So.
Oh, okay.
Brytech says that's installing a treat. The British.
Oh, yeah.
I'm kind of hungry for a treat, Brytech. Polestar says, I'm finding this fascinating. Welcome to my life. And then they want me to check the speed of the solid state drive once the install is completed. That's a good idea. We should see speeds. So you remember the speed on the hard drive was 110?
Yeah.
That was the first number. We should see 550. That's how much faster, like literally 5 times faster. But we'll find out. It depends on if the motherboard supports, when this connector style came out, it ran at something called 150. And then the next year they doubled it to 300, and then the next year they doubled it again to 600. So if it's running at the 600 speed, there's some overhead and error checking. So if we see 550, we're good to go.
Oh,
if we see numbers in the 300 range, then that means that you don't have the latest hard drive data transfer protocol built into this board. So what that means basically is like we have we have a Ferrari, but we're driving it on the freeway at 55 miles an hour. So in other words, this drive is capable of going much, much faster, but if your motherboard isn't capable of that, then it will only run as fast as the motherboard will allow it to.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to find out when it installs. That's a great idea. Carrie, what's your professional advice for this customer on recommended options? It really depends on how important the computer is to you and how much money you want to spend. Those are the 2 things that are very much related. A basic computer like this, I can build a much faster computer that's upgradable for about $600. Or, you know, you could just go to Best Buy and just buy another Dell or another HP. But the problem when you buy these all-in-one machines is they're generally not giving you the best, unless you're buying upscale.
Oh, okay.
And then even when you're buying upscale, they often limit how you can upgrade them and how you can repair them. If you build one yourself or you have one built for you, all the parts are industry standard modular parts. So anybody can work on it. It doesn't have to go back to a particular person. And then you're also open to any upgrade options indefinitely until, you know, the format of the parts changes. But basically, this has been the same form factor for 20 years. And I don't know that it's changing anytime soon. So, and generally speaking, building one does cost less than buying it pre-built.
Oh, okay.
With few exceptions. Is there an option to change it to AHCI in the BIOS? Maybe, I don't know. There's probably a BIOS update too. But to me, this feels pretty slow. Like on a modern computer that I install Windows 10 on, I can get that whole install done in about 3 minutes.
Oh, I see
modern fast computer.
Yeah.
This is still pretty darn slow.
Yeah.
But what's slow to me and what's slow to you are 2 different things, right? Because I'm a power user and I need everything faster. Other people, you know, perhaps aren't as demanding as I am when it comes to performance. So I would never impose on you my needs, because my needs are not important. Your needs are the ones that are important. So As long as the computer continues to meet your needs, you don't need to upgrade or replace it, no matter what anybody tells you. But clearly this computer is not meeting your needs.
No, I mean, that's why I haven't used it like in a while. My friend came over there and used it when she came out here, but I've always had my laptop and I knew it was outdated, but I said, you know, I'm always want to just find out for sure, like, hey, I'm kind of glad I brought up, at least I'm learning a lot and I'm getting a chance to see exactly, you know, this is outdated. I definitely need to get me one and moving forward, since I am in the process of maybe relocating and I want to get me another desktop. Maybe I should have it, have you build one and just ship it out there instead of like me trying to take one with me, because right now I got me a pod and I got an apartment full of stuff now. So I was just trying to think of what should I do in terms of the computer, because this computer I done moved this computer like 4 or 5 times since I've had it.
Yeah, you probably spent more moving it than it's worth.
Yeah, I've been moving it. It's been going around with me until after 5 year, you know, that's when I start using it. But, you know, that's what I was thinking about, because I know I want me a desktop, because I know I'm always going to have access to a laptop. I always want like to have like a desktop, you know, have me a desktop, because I like that. I've always liked desktops, you know, and I use it when I travel. I use my laptop when I travel.
Well, you know, whether you, you know, when you get settled into wherever you're moving to, you could always reach out to me at that point. You don't have to have me build it now, but just wait until you need it. That's always a good idea with PCs, because the technology is always changing, and just like gasoline prices, the prices are always changing. No, it's terrible to go and spend $1,500 on a computer, let's just say, for example, and then you don't use it for a few years, and then you get around to using it, and you find out it's worth about $750.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just depreciates whether you use it or you don't use it. So you might as well wait till you need it, then order one from me. And I can build it, and I ship them all over the United States. It's not a problem. It adds about $100 for shipping.
Yeah, that's no problem, you know, to have that. But I'm just saying, you know, from all the time, I mean, I just wanted to see it now. I was like, wow. Everybody's just saying, well, you want to come and look at it? He said, no, just go and get rid of that thing. I said, no. I'm always curious. I would just want to find out exactly what is going on. So I know now we couldn't get past all the software I've loaded up on that system. That's the first problem. We never got past that to uninstall anything, because it wouldn't let us. You
honestly,
don't get like
so if I was working all by myself and you weren't here and I wasn't live, I could spend a lot more time on it and just go watch TV and come in and check on it. And,
oh,
you know
yeah.
But I'm under a little bit of pressure because you're here with me and I have a live audience watching to keep everything moving
and
forward.
And it's going up and up.
You should have a product key up here for Windows Home Premium. I'm assuming that's what it is. It doesn't matter. Like I say, we're just doing this for testing.
Yeah.
This wouldn't be something I could complete while you're waiting, because just the updates to Windows 7 will take about 15 hours to install.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it is Windows 7 Home Premium.
And so like all my, like say, some of the stuff I like to see what I have on my hard drive, because I'm not going to hook this computer back up again.
Well, we can take the hard drive out and you can plug it into a USB adapter into your laptop. See, they make a, show you. You can buy these at Fry's Electronics or online. And the hard drive, just, you take it, you see these 4 screws? And the hard drive comes out of there. And you can see the connector in there, right? And you just sit the hard drive in here, and you plug this in the wall, and you plug into the USB port of your laptop. Yeah. And then you'll have like an E or an F drive or whatever it becomes. And you can just look through it and look for your files.
And yeah, that's the only thing on our government computers. We can't use no flash drives, no
On
nothing.
the laptop, you can't plug it in. It doesn't work.
No, you can't do it. If you do
just
that,
not allowed.
that machine, it'll gonna come all red.
Well, that's probably for the best.
Yeah, they don't let you put anything on
Okay.
no flash drives, nothing on their computers.
Well, and that way, by using a device like that, you can't copy your programs off of there. But all the data, all the pictures, all the music, all your data that you created with programs, the data you can copy off. Any programs have to be reinstalled, which means, either downloading the installation files.
How about the files? That's my main thing.
Again, the things you created, Word documents, spreadsheets, photos, music, all that can be copied off. No problem. No problem at all.
I would have to buy something like that and connect it up to it?
Well, you have a choice. I mean, I can pull that stuff off for you now. We just need to put it on something. Or, it's still on there. It's not going anywhere. When you're ready, you can, like I said, you can remove the screws. Or this thing still boots. You could still boot it, plug a flash drive into it, and copy the files that way too.
Okay.
Just depending on if you wanted to deal with the slowness of it. So here we've got, very basic Windows installed. And let's see, let me plug this flash drive. Let me take this flash drive out. Plug this flash drive in. Now I really should have the chipset driver installed in there as a very base, because we may not be getting a real accurate reading here, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm just going to run it. Let's see what kind of numbers we see on this drive. Okay, so this has got to be SATA 2. It must be a SATA 2 based motherboard. Remember how I said if it was in the 300 range?
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody just confirmed serial ATA 300. That's Nick. Thank you, Nick. That explains it. So it really, although this is still 2.5 times faster than this, the motherboard's limiting us. So I wouldn't drop a penny into this. I wouldn't even put time into it at this point. It's just
okay.
It's
just
too
a
old.
lot. Yeah. Too old. Yeah.
If you had bought it just 2 years later,
Yeah.
it'd probably still be reasonable. It's just the technology was still evolving pretty quickly, the SATA technology. And SATA 2 only existed for a very short little window of time where it replaced SATA 1 and then it got replaced by SATA 3. And SATA 3 is as far, and well, it may be Greek to you, that's as far as the technology has gone for years and years and years now. We've not gone to SATA 4 and they never will. They've saturated it. It's as much as it can be, and now we've moved technologies to a different platform. But if we're still using SATA today, it's all SATA 3. And you just happen to buy this in that little window between SATA 1 and SATA 3. Like I say, SATA 2 wasn't out, but maybe, I think it was only a year before SATA 3 came out. I'm sure they'll correct me on that.
I think I'll go with you building me on another computer. So in other words, I just need to call Dr. Kevorkian and, those kind of things.
I'm Dr.
Hey,
Kevorkian.
what do they call that stuff? What they used to give people, the death they would call it when he was...
Assisted suicide?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They call it something else. It can angels or something.
Just put them out of the misery.
Yeah.
Look, honestly, this hard drive could be reused in another system as a storage drive, although it is older, and like I said, the older they are, the more likely they are to fail. But as long as you have copies of everything, if it fails, it's just a minor inconvenience. The optical drive is the same technology that we use today that hasn't changed, and they're selling computers now without them because everybody downloads everything online now. We don't need to put CDs in or DVDs anymore.
Yeah, that's how my work computer is. I have an external drive.
Yeah, and so same with these power supplies. New power supplies are now more ecologically minded, where their power efficiency ratings are gone up, so they don't cost as much money to run because they're more efficient. So the only thing really recyclable out of this computer are the 2 drives. Everything else is trash.
So I'm going to get the drive off so I can look at the files and see exactly what I want to keep.
Yeah, and again, the way the system sits right now, you could take that at home and you don't need my help for that. You could just go to your My Documents folder and copy it off onto a flash drive.
So I can hook this back up and...
Yeah, it's going to boot. And it's booting a little bit faster now, but you don't need it perfectly fixed to get your data off of it.
Yeah, I just want to see what data I have on there. I may go buy another flash drive and go through before I get rid of it and go through it and see. Because see, I've been using a flash drive for so long. I know I took a lot of information off that computer. A lot of stuff that I have on there is not really that. I don't think it's that important, just to look at it. Because I have a lot of stuff in my net zero that I saved. I saved a lot now.
So like this person says, you can send me the computer if he doesn't want it. To ship this computer will cost about $100. To ship you a brand new computer will cost about $100.
Oh, okay.
So if somebody wants to pay $100 to have this shipped to them, you let me know, because it's not worth $100.
And it's a lot of old, as you can see, because when you go on there, you can actually look at, can you still look at what I have on the hard drive on here?
I will in a second. I'm waiting for this to finish. I'm gonna grab a screenshot
and then I can see, because most of the stuff on there is really, really old.
Let's take a look here.
Oh, will anyone pay $100 to see Carrie shoot it?
I would.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't. Wait a minute. You put your hand out like, I'll take it. Let's see.
Oh.
We'll call this SSD. All right, we're going to shut this back.
What is your profession? I have one that I will ship it if you want to pay the shipping.
Okay, so now that turns that off. So I'm going to disconnect this drive, and we're going to hook your hard drive back up how it was. Set this down here. Plug this one in here. Plug this one in here. And take this out, take this, and take this. We'll power this back on. And I will give you this. And I will give you this.
Okay. So that first product you try to uninstall, it was my computer's just running too slow, or something's preventing it. You think it's a virus on there preventing it from being uninstalled?
It's possible, but it could be something as simple as a file corruption or a file incompatibility.
Oh yeah.
Corrupted registry entry. It could be something within Windows itself that what we call something called bit rot. And bit rot is basically when Windows, over a period of time, starts to slow down, becomes sluggish, and maybe even randomly crashes, where a reinstall is necessary. Now, it doesn't happen as often on Windows 7 and Windows 10 as it used to back in Windows 95 days. But it's still a thing. And it does happen from downloading and installing a lot of programs. It also happens from improperly shutting down the computer, like you saw me pull the cable. That's a good way to get a file corruption. And that's why it's not recommended. So yeah, if you want to jump into, if you click on your, actually, let's make the screen bigger so you can see it. Yeah, just look at your documents folder. Right click on that. Just do a right mouse click and go to Properties. No, that's not what I want to see. Let me borrow that for a second. Okay. Let's do it this way. We'll go to C drive, users, my documents. I want to see how much data you've got in there. Oh, you've only got 500 megabytes in there. So even a $1 flash drive would hold 500 megs. That's
and you know what I'm thinking? That if I can look at it, would I look at the document itself?
We'll see one other thing here. You got a lot of pictures on here, though.
A lot of pictures?
Yeah.
Oh, I have those pictures.
4,000 pictures, totaling over a gig so far. That's where all your data's sitting. 1.5 gigs, 10,450 pictures for a total of 3.5 gigs.
Because you know what? I have I have the cloud on there. You know, the cloud from Verizon. On my pictures, pretty sure.
Well, I see you've got OneDrive. So, do you want to expose the files in your My Documents to all the members watching, to all the viewers? Or do you want to do that?
What?
No. So everybody can see everything we're seeing. So do you have any file names or anything that you don't want people to see?
That's no,
Nothing
it's all, yeah.
work related that's not permitted?
No, I don't keep any work related on there.
So looking in your Documents folder, let's see if I can make the screen bigger for you.
Okay.
Because again, the viewers don't know this, but we have a smaller display.
Okay.
And I clicked on the wrong one. No, that's not it. Transform, projector. There we go.
It's only 9:15. Beaton's catering pay schedule. Yeah. IRS payments. Resume 7/10/16. Misspend. Bank information. Enterprise. Yeah, this stuff is a lot of this is, see, I have everything on my flash drive.
You already have that stuff?
I have most of this, these are all like old bills and stuff.
Well, I was going to say, if you want me to copy all those photos and pictures, I have this spare flash drive. You're welcome to have it. It's an old...
Oh, okay.
And we can just copy it off right now.
Yeah.
And then you can look at it anytime.
Oh, okay.
And it's just this easy. We just go to the C drive. We go under Users. And I'm going to select the... select you. And I'm going to pick... You could grab your desktop with all your icons. Some people store data on their desktop, so always grab that folder.
Yeah.
I'm not going to grab the downloads folder because anything you've got in there you can download. I'll grab your favorites just so you can have them, my documents, my music, and my pictures.
Yeah.
And then it looks like you've got a document for some reason that's not in the right place. And I'm going to say copy this.
Uh-huh.
And then we go over to removable disk, right click, and paste. And now we're just copying the data over now. And there we go. That's how a backup is made.
And also when I get my computer, you know, I have like 2 computer screens at work. Is that easy? I guess that would be easy to hook up, right? I'm gonna have 2 monitors.
Yes, even this computer supports 2 screens.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you just use different connectors. On the back, you'll see I'm using the HDMI connector.
Yeah.
And then there's the regular VGA, and those can both be hooked up and used simultaneously.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much true of all computers in the
Yeah.
last, well, pretty much since 2010, 2011.
Yeah. You forgot save games.
Yeah, I'm not copying the save games folder.
I don't. Isn't that your older email platform? I've had
Of course,
it for,
all of your email in NetZero, they're telling me to remind you that it's stored on NetZero. It's not stored on your.
Yeah. Just crazy.
Let's see what comments I've missed here.
This is not me a new PC. This one is fine as long as it runs.
Yeah, some people, yeah.
No, it's not. It had it.
Some people have a lot more time.
Yeah.
You know? It's time
So
versus
since
money.
you never know what they might be. What pictures? This guy act like he knows what dude is saying. So,
Yeah, I don't know. They could be talking to each other. They may not be talking about us.
okay.
This guy says he'd pay for the shipping of that computer. Crazy people out there.
Yeah.
Someone says it's a bad move copying files. Any one of them can contain malware. What you need to know about copying files is malware doesn't activate itself. In other words, if you have a virus or a piece of spyware on a flash drive, in most cases, you have to click on a file to make it run, and then the infection, if it's infected, would take over. So ideally, you wouldn't be pulling any files off of here onto a machine that didn't have antivirus. And if the machine is running antivirus, when you're transferring the files, if anything's infected, it will alert you at that time. So you got to be careful with the information you see from people on the internet. They get a little bit of information and they're kind of dangerous with it.
Okay.
But the fact is that a malware virus is pretty much the same as any other piece of software. You have to run it. Once it's run, then you're activating it. And if you have antivirus on a system, and all this isn't going to be something new. This will be an older virus.
Oh, okay.
So the antivirus should be well protecting you of any threat. And I don't see any indication of a virus on this machine. That doesn't mean there isn't one, but there's no obvious indication that it's infected.
Oh, okay.
What
Could
is
be
obvious
hidden.
is it's just, a well-written virus is hidden. A well-written virus is one you never know you've got, but most viruses are not well-written.
Yeah.
The idiots that write them just aren't that smart. And
okay.
that's why most viruses create a lot of blue screen crashing and things like that, because the people that wrote them are complete idiots. So I'm not worried about viruses on this at all. And like I said, when you go to read the data back, the machine you read the data back from, I'm assuming is going to have good, current, up-to-date antivirus, so you'll be protected there. So one of the things I would do, just because I can, is just clear out some temp files out of here. Let's see if I can make it so I can see again. There we go. So there's certain folders we can clear out, like we can go into the computer icon, we can go to the C drive, we can go to Windows, and we can go to software distribution. This is all the Windows updates, where it says download. Oh, that's already empty. That's weird. We can also go into the temp folder by going to start, and then you just type in %temp %, and all of these, which this is not. So apparently you've run CCleaner on this recently, because there's not much in here. All these temp files can be safely deleted.
Oh, okay.
And those files are in use, so we can't delete those. And it frees up a little bit of hard drive space. How much space are you consuming right now? Oh, barely any.
Oh, okay.
So your hard drive only has 60 gigabytes or 61 gigabytes of data.
Yeah.
So the blue is what you're using, and this purple or pink, whatever this color is, this is how much free space you've got. So lots of free space on the drive. And it's actually pretty responsive right now. When I'm clicking on things, it's look how much faster things are coming up. I don't know why. Maybe I can take one of these Javas off of there. That's working like it should.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's possible with a lot of time invested. Windows 7 can be reinstalled. All the drivers for the video, the sound, the network, all that could be reinstalled. Then the Microsoft Office could be reinstalled and reactivated. But at that point, Windows 7 expires and it will no longer be supported after January of 2020. So the most that amount of effort is going to get you is a year and a half.
So it's better just go and get you to build me a new computer.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
I think having a computer for 7 years is about 2 years longer than you should if you're using it for business.
Yeah.
If it's just for fun, then it's how much fun is worth to you.
Yeah, definitely.
But with business, I would say every 4 to 5 years, a new computer.
Oh, okay.
And the only reason I've got a customer with a computer that's 7 years old is that they're not complaining about it being slow, and I just didn't notice it. What I've been doing now is when I build computers, I get my label maker, and I put the month and the year that I built it, and I stick it on the side. Because I know when I built it recently, but after a couple of weeks or a couple of months, well, certainly after a year, when did I build it again? And then we have to go digging through receipts to figure out when it was purchased.
Oh, yeah.
So what I do is I label everything now, and we know when that label says June of 2011, and we're well past that of 2018, we know that machine's over 7 years old. And if the customer doesn't complain, normally I don't have any reason to go looking at those stickers.
Oh, yeah.
But I was there at the shop and I noticed it and I went, yeah, we need to get these out before they start causing problems.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And that's the other issue you run into. And again, it's basically just time versus money, right?
Yeah.
You buy a newer computer, statistically, you're less likely to have a problem with it. You're going to have a warranty, which is peace of mind. And the machine's going to operate and respond faster, which means you can be more productive.
Yeah, definitely.
Whereas you keep an older thing like this running and there's no guarantee how long it'll run, how much more time you're going to have to invest in it. And like I said, what we do know for sure is Windows 7 support ends in January of 2020, and then you will be forced to either take it off the internet or risk giving up your identity and having all kinds of problems if you insist on continuing to use it beyond that point.
Yeah, because it won't be protected.
Right. But these Javas are coming right off, no problem, which is good. And then I'm pulling this Microsoft Silverlight out. That nobody uses that anymore either.
What was that basically used for?
It was sort of Microsoft's answer to Java. It was sort of the same kind of concept. They were using it more expanded than Java, and it didn't really catch on. Kind of like a Microsoft Zune. Remember those?
Oh, yeah.
Microsoft tries certain things, and when they come out, they try and convince you this is going to be the latest and greatest thing. You better have it, and then you get it, and you've never probably ever used it, and then it just sits forever on your system, consuming resources. Product improvement study. I don't think we need that. got something to say. And then there was something else, Dell Support Center, we can get rid of that. He's like a cat, this dog. Most dogs love to be pet. He's like, you can pet me now. Okay, that's enough.
Okay.
All right, what else? Dell product registration, we can get rid of that. That's the other problem. When you buy these pre-built machines, they throw all this, what we call bloatware or crapware on your machine.
Yeah.
You probably never used any of this, like the Dell Music Stage, Photo Stage, Dell Marketplace, Dell Getting Started Guide, that can go. The Dell Data Safe Online, that can go. This Go to Assist, you probably haven't used in a long time. That apparently was installed back in November of 2011.
Yeah.
And that's a security risk to have something like that. If you're connected online, you've got Go to Assist. If it's running, somebody could theoretically, if it's possible, to hack into you and take over your keyboard and mouse. So I like to take all that stuff off just for precaution.
Oh, okay.
Someone might say it's unlikely, but I'll say it's impossible when it's removed, and that's my argument. That uninstalled very quickly. Dell Marketplace can go. Trusted ID can go. And get rid of that. Okay, I think that'll be the last one I take off, and then I'm going to restart it one more time. That Malwarebytes is old and it should be replaced, but I'm going to leave it on there because you can upgrade it. It'll install on top of itself.
Oh, okay.
If you want to scan it for any viruses or malware, that's the product I would use.
Oh, okay.
With, using something like the free Windows Defender, but it doesn't sound like this is something you're going to be using regularly anyway. You've already got your data off of it, so
yeah.
Really just a matter if you want to erase the drive or destroy it if you're worried about, security, if you want to get rid of it. I want to just try this, since everything's running so well. No, you know what, I'm not going to. I was going to uninstall AVG again, but I want to restart first. So let's restart it. And it should boot up a little faster now. It's certainly a lot more responsive than it was.
Yeah.
But that's not saying much. Okay, so what have I missed in the chat room here? We can have you sign back in. Carrie, Silverlight was required back in the day for Netflix to run. Wow. Yeah, not anymore. Some federal websites require Internet Explorer and Silverlight because they're so far behind.
We only can use Internet Explorer. Can't even use Chrome or Firefox on our system.
You have to use Explorer?
Have to use Explorer.
Just like what they said.
In some of my programs, I got to use Microsoft Edge just to get into these government sites.
Yeah.
Firefox and Opera. We may be able to get right.
You can't upgrade from 7 to 10 for free anymore. Now that's not true. You absolutely still can upgrade from Windows 7 or Windows 8 to Windows 10. Once again, the internet is rife with false information.
Yeah, fake news.
So when I see this stuff, you know, what I'd like to see people do is say, I think, or correct me if I'm wrong, and then make their false statement.
Yeah.
But when they blatantly put it out there and it's completely wrong and it's stated as if it's fact, it gets me really upset because this little tiny modicum of research on Google, the same amount of effort it took him to type that, he could have verified without me telling him that that's simply not true. So just be careful of information you see on the internet. People with the best of intentions, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But that's how I've been able to pay for my house.
Yeah.
It's because of people with the best of intentions creating problems for others, and then those others call me to pay me to fix it.
Fix it. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So just
do you ever fix it remotely?
Yes, on a computer that I've seen, that I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
But a computer that I've never seen, I don't want to fix it remotely because, well, I'll give you a real world example. Customer said they're having a problem, computer was running really slow, and it was crashing. Could I fix it remotely? And I said, you know, I haven't seen the computer in over a year.
Yeah.
So I'm not comfortable working on it remotely. They said, it's really, really important. I'm trying to get this thing done. And I said, I reluctantly agreed. And as I was working on it, the machine stopped talking to me. So I had to call the customer and say, what's going on? And she was, it's got a blue screen. Okay, turn it off, turn it back on. And she goes, oh, it won't come on anymore.
Oh, wow.
So what ended up happening is the hard drive was failing in it. Now, if I had seen that machine in person, I would have probably heard a sound that would have alerted me that the hard drive was failing. But because I was remote and the customer didn't say anything, that hard drive failed. And as a result, there's no way to get the data off of it. I mean, not without expensive data recovery.
Oh, yeah.
If the customer would have followed my advice, let me pick the machine up, it's possible I would have said, oh, the drive is failing, let me get all the data off of it right now while it's still alive.
Oh.
But that option was removed because the customer insisted. I relented against my better judgment, and the customer lost everything on that drive.
Wow.
Remember what I said, best of intentions have pretty much paid for, well, it's my career.
Yeah.
It's based a lot on people with the best of intentions. And it's, I guess I'm a horrible salesman because it's something I'd like to see change. I'd like to start seeing people more accountable and more responsible. And what's happening on the internet is people just throw information out. Often it's wrong. They may not be bad people, but it ends up costing an innocent victim who follows that advice.
Yep.
And they can often say, well, who said it? They say, well, Joe 1812, you know, who's that?
Yeah, definitely.
And so I just, you know, if the computer's important to you, if you use it for work, it's not something I would mess around with like that. All right, so I think that should wrap it up. I'm just taking a look here just at the... So we're going to leave this, yeah, we're going to leave it as it is. I'm going to go ahead and shut it down.
Okay.
You know, we know it works. I'm still looking at the wrong screen. There it is. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a proper shutdown this time. It's better than it was.
Yeah.
All right, but its days are numbered, and you know, for the information you were seeking, it's not worth putting any money into it, in my opinion. And you should consider a new machine, whether you buy a Dell or you build one yourself.
So what? If you build, what type of computers do you build?
Whatever you need.
What brand?
They're my brand.
Oh, your brand. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so it won't be Dell, it'll be Carry.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I mean, I don't know. I thought, you know, oh, that's a good thing.
Well, that's what I do on my channel. You'll see there's a lot of videos where I'm showing people how to build their own. You could go and buy the parts and follow, if you're into that sort of thing, if you would enjoy that.
I wouldn't know what to buy.
Well, no, but you could even buy the exact parts that I'm featuring on a, you know, if it's a current video. But it wouldn't even matter if the parts were the same, because a motherboard still goes in the same way, regardless.
So if I give you $600, you'll just do a whole computer for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what, because the thing about it is...
I've got a person here in the chat room, her name is Catherine Annerhauserman, and she's in Colombia, and she likes putting parts lists together. So if we say, hey, Catherine, can you put us together a parts list?
I've seen it on there.
Budget.
I've seen her on there.
Yeah, and
she said, I can get a part list together for him.
Yeah, she loves doing that. Because there's hundreds of motherboards to choose from and hundreds of CPUs and different RAM manufacturers. And we just put a parts list together the other day, which would be perfect for you. It came out to $571. Now, I don't make any money on the parts. What I recommend people do is instead of giving me $600, I give you a parts list. And I say, I don't care where you get your parts, but I get my parts from newegg.com or amazon.com.
Oh, okay.
Order the parts, and you can either have the parts shipped directly to me, or since you're local, just call me when you get the parts and bring them over.
So do you order the parts yourself?
No, I'm saying I would give you the parts list and have you order so that it's on your credit card, and you know I'm not making any money off the parts. You're paying the same price for parts as I would pay.
So if you order the parts, it would be an extra charge?
Well, then I have to collect sales tax, and I got to file paperwork. It's, you know, it's cheaper, and it puts all the parts in your name for warranty purposes, which is awesome.
Oh, okay.
And so basically, if I give you the parts list, all you got to do is add that you've bought online before, right? You know how to make a purchase online. As long as you are told what parts to order, you can order those parts and either have them shipped directly to me or get them to me when they arrive. And then you have two choices because you're local. You can build it with me if you want to, or you can say, I want nothing to do with that.
You can build it online? You'll do it online? You can build it online?
We can make a video and you can build it and I'll tell you what to do. I'll say, okay,
that'd be
if
interesting.
you wanted to do it, if you thought that might be fun.
Yeah.
I'm all up for it. And
okay.
And then I don't charge you, if we do the video, I won't charge you a penny. It'll just be whatever it costs you for parts. I won't make a dime. I'll make money on people watching the video.
That would be kind of great. And see, the thing about it is, I would want that, because see, I have my stuff going into a Peapod wherever I'm going to move to.
Right.
I don't want to put that computer in there, because it's going to be sitting at the U-Haul maybe for a month or 2 months.
I mean, it might have to worry about theft, but it's not going to.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. I don't want to let it sit, you know, like the last time I did, because that thing sitting in the box, I almost forgot about it, you know, just to have it. And that's what I think I'm eventually going to do. And it's going to be sooner than later, because a lot of things are moving pretty quick for me.
I've been doing this almost 30 years, so whenever you're ready, I'll be here.
Yeah, definitely.
There's no hurry on my part. I'm just,
But I learned a lot today. I get a chance to see exactly
that's your stuff,
what things are going, you know, how things are going.
Yeah, I mean, if you look in here, the parts are pretty simple. You've got, underneath this fan is your CPU. These sticks are your memory. They just pop out. You've got 4 gigs of memory. Each one of these is 1 gig of memory for a total of 4. This is your hard disk drive. This is where Windows and your data is stored. This is your CD drive right up here, right behind this door.
Yeah.
And this is your power supply. And then this is just an exhaust fan. That's it. How many parts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts.
And I got air at home. I can just blow this out, right?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, why bother?
Yeah, I know.
It's a lot
So
cleaner
this
than it
needs
was.
to be plugged back in?
No, that's for another hard drive.
Oh, cool. Okay.
It's expandable.
Oh, okay.
So these aren't used. Everything is exactly the way it should be right now.
Oh, okay. So, in other words, so you, depending on the type of computer that I want, you would give me a list of the things that I have to go online and order.
Yeah, I'd send you an email, and I give you links to the parts. You click on the link and add it to your cart.
Oh, okay. You do buy them all from one shop?
I recommend it. You get it all from one place. That way you have the same customer service, the same...
Here you go.
Oh, thank you. You know what I'm saying? This,
Uh-huh.
If you order, some people order from the cheapest, like this part's cheaper here and that part's cheaper there. And when you do that, you have different return policies, different shipping. Some places charge sales tax, some don't. So when I order from Newegg, they don't charge me sales tax unless I'm in California.
Oh, okay.
And Amazon does charge me sales tax. So if there's the same price or similar price on Amazon, after sales tax, Amazon's more expensive. So that leans me more over to Newegg. Newegg has a similar return policy.
Oh, okay.
And as far as electronics or computer parts go, they have a similar inventory. And because they're coming out of California, standard delivery is 3 days.
Oh, okay.
With a few exceptions. And that's the other problem. When you order from the cheapest source, you may have everything to build the computer but one part. It's so frustrating. And you're like, where's that part?
So you buy all this and you put it together?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've got this machine here that we're using for this broadcast. Let me pull the side off of it and you can see. Now this one's a bit more expensive and it's got a lot more stuff in it than what you would need.
Oh, okay.
But just to give you an idea what something looks like, you can see I've got a Wi-Fi card on there.
Yeah.
And in fact, this same case would be the one I would recommend. This is a $60 case.
Uh-huh. Oh, wow.
But you'll see, I mean, it's still the same motherboard. That's the RAM, that's the CPU, that's the power supply at the bottom instead of on the top. That's my hard drive. That's my DVD drive. And then that's my exhaust fan. They're different colors, right? And I have a graphics card in here, which you don't have, and you wouldn't need one because you could use onboard video. This card, this is a $600 card, just that one piece. You wouldn't need that. But this is essentially what you would buy from me. It would look just like this.
And so, you know what, to have like a PDF file or Adobe Reader, I need to have Adobe where I can go in there and make changes to the document.
Well, that's the whole point of Adobe, is that you're not supposed to make changes. That's what Word is for.
Yeah, but sometimes, like say for instance, if I'm working on a contract and we still use PDFs. Right. We don't do it in the system.
But again, people generally use PDFs so that they cannot be altered.
Yeah, but see, what we have, like on my computer at work, I go in there, and a lot of times I need to go, like I got a 100-page contract I'm going through right now.
Right.
I need to be able to go in there and look at that document. Sometimes I need to ask, sometimes we'll have something in the systems not on the contract, so I'm gonna go into that contract and add that on so we can mirror with what's ever in the system. But the thing about it is, I would never send that document. The documents that I sent out to the contractor or to the buying service, you can't change that for my purposes. I need to have that option to go in there and change it, but you never send a document outside that agency where they can make changes. I don't need it just for me.
So usually the way that works is a conversion program that converts the PDF file into a Word document.
Yes.
Then you can edit it, and then you print to an Adobe printer.
Yeah.
Creates a PDF file.
I go into tools and I can edit this PDF, but it's actually an actual contract.
Right.
I went in there and started one today, but that contract would never go on the outside of that agency.
Well, to edit, you need more than Adobe Reader. You need the full Adobe product, and it's very expensive. The
really?
Adobe PDF Creator. There's probably some competitors you can use that cost a fraction.
Yeah, because because that's what I thought I was uploading on my system. I hope YouTube.
Yeah, I'm just looking there.
Yeah, definitely.
But yes,
Adobe
there's
Pro.
some competitors to Adobe that are a lot cheaper for that. But the best thing is just to convert the Adobe file into a document format, and then edit it in an editor, a document editor.
Yeah.
And that I would just leave off. That's just gonna fall off.
Yeah, I'm gonna
again.
go in it. Yeah, definitely.
But that's the piece for it, the spring.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, this is very enlightening. I like this.
Yeah, Joe, good time.
Yeah, I had a good time.
You seem pretty comfortable. You weren't nervous in front of
Yeah.
the 523 people watching.
Yeah.
Should have told you that. No, it's a good turnout. It's a good crowd.
Yeah, that's a lot of people. I was like,
Obviously, most of them are not.
You only had
participating.
one disgruntled person.
Oh no, there's only one we saw. But I can
Yeah.
assure you, my moderators are doing such a good job that they didn't really distract us.
Yeah, definitely.
Let me just scroll up here, take a look.
Yeah.
Newegg is going to be charging sales tax in all 50 states. Yeah, that's the other thing. Chances are, in time, the government's going to want their money and
Because you have so many places, that's so much revenue they're losing. They got to.
Yeah, they're losing a lot of revenue.
Ooh, they losing a lot of.
Yeah. And I mean, by law, you're supposed to report everything you buy online and
Yeah.
pay tax on it. Anyway, I'm not sure how many people actually do that, or those who do, I don't know how honest they are. Just like with people who work with tips, waiters and
They
waitresses.
start doing, that's why I used to be a waiter.
Yeah.
And once they start connecting it with your social security number, that's when I got out of it. I went to banquet serving.
The whole point of it was that
I
you're
hate
getting
that.
tax free, because
They
once you
getting
pull
everybody, bellhops.
30% out of that of taxes.
Regardless if you do it or not, because you know what, they start recording, if you don't put down anything,
Oh yeah.
they
take a
base it
minimum.
on your total sales.
Yeah.
They know you're gonna get 50%, so they go in there.
Not as a waiter, I'm sure you've been stiffed a few times.
Oh yeah, you get
for not
still,
even
but
good
still,
reason.
but they have
The
to make
government will still
yeah.
expect
They
15%.
still, it's a guideline. It's a minimum.
Yep.
And so we make it even across the board, because you may go high, you may go low.
They're telling me to tell you about my case badges. When I build computers,
Uh-huh.
let's see, I got one in here somewhere.
Okay. With his nephew and niece.
You know, the companies put their logos on their cases.
Uh-huh.
So I had these made up. I'll show it to these folks first. And that is, if it'll focus. Just having a hard time focusing on that. But this is the case badge I stick on there. It's just
Oh, okay.
my ugly autograph.
I like that. Yeah.
Named, and I usually stick it,
On
on the
there.
side or on the back or something. And
So
the
you
goal-
built something for your niece and nephew?
My niece and my nephew, each of them individually, needed a computer, and they came over here and built their own computer. And I just
outta
told
here.
them, I assisted them.
Oh, I like to do that. I mean, when
I would
they
love to have you do it. Listen, I have built, I don't know how many computers, but it's in the 5 digits. Somewhere between
Okay.
20, 30,000 computers since
Wow.
1991. It's fun for me, but what's even more fun for me, my 74-year-old father and I had him, I just said, okay, do this, and we built it together. It was a good father-son bonding experience. It's a great experience to share with friends, and it's really enjoyable for me to show people how simple this is. A lot of people think it's going to be complicated because it's a computer, but it's
Yeah.
really as simple as Legos. It's really that simple. And all you need to know is, first of all, what parts to buy. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
And then it's just a matter of knowing the little nuances, of be careful of this and watch out for that. But actually doing it simple. It's knowing to look out for this and do it, be aware of this. That's the part that I think once people have that little bit of information and they do it, like I can promise you, If you come over here and we build a computer together, you and I, you're going to want to build another one. I promise you. You will want to build, and you will. It will be the best computer you ever owned, and you will never buy a pre-built computer again.
Wow.
If we ask anybody in the audience, how many people in the audience have built their own computer and regret it? Just put it in the chat. If you've built your own computer and you would never do it again, tell us in the chat. I'm going to go put this away.
I brought my
Now keep in mind, we've got people watching from all over the world, you know.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Catherine's in Colombia, Brytech is in England. You know what? And while you're in there, go ahead and tell us where you're watching us from. And remember, we've got a, you'll get him addicted. Yeah, that I'm not responsible. That's on you. Here we go. Never regret it, never regret it. And tell us where you're from. Please, where are you watching us from? Never regretted, you'll love it. Norway.
I never bought a computer, PC. I built 3 computers.
Wales in the UK, another one in the UK,
Yeah.
England, Boston, California, New York, British Columbia, Detroit, Spokane, Portugal, North Carolina, Sweden, Canada, another Canada, Dublin, Ireland, Lithuania, Louisiana, Cincinnati, Ohio, Arizona, Slovakia, Scotland, Pennsylvania, Hampshire, UK, Memphis, Tennessee, Michigan, Nova Scotia, Italy, Finland, London, Slovenia, Greece, Portugal again, UK again, Slovakia, California, Canada, New York, Florida, Great Britain, Newfoundland, Canada, Louisiana, Sweden, New Zealand, Manchester, England, Bahrain.
Bahrain, yeah.
I don't get many viewers from Bahrain. Denmark, Wyoming, Yorkshire, Mexico, Latvia, more in Portugal, California, Mexico, Idaho, Corruptifornia, Qatar.
Yeah, Qatar.
Now, Qatar, I would expect you to be building like a $10,000 computer. Come on, it's Qatar.
Yeah.
Australia, Connecticut, Romania, Poland, Maine, Chesterfield, UK. Thank you, guys. Thank you. The Netherlands, Eagle, Colorado. Oh,
Yeah.
that's Mitch. Mitch and I have worked together on a video where to show how easy it is to build a computer. It took 2 people to film this, and we're still working on it, but it's an interactive computer build video where he says, to demonstrate just how easy it is to build a computer, I'm going to let you pick the order in which we install the parts. So do you want to install this part first, or this part, or this part? And you click on that, and he goes, okay, here's how you do this. Now you've got these 2 parts left. Do you want to do this one or this one? And then you click, and he goes, okay, here's how you show it. And it's all close up, and it's explained. It's still more fun if we do it together. But I mean, if you had to do it on your own, there's no specific order that you have to put the parts in. And the instructions are very clear and simple. And so he's on vacation right now. That's why I saw Eagle, Colorado, and I'm like, I know somebody from Eagle, Colorado. We've got someone watching from Brazil. I mean, we're all over the world right now, which is really cool. And not a single person has said that they regret it.
Yeah, I see that on there. Yeah, and you know, it's really like, cause I like a challenge. Like I'm saying, not like a challenge, but I like doing new things. That's what I'm saying. This field that I'm in, this was totally new. I hadn't even seen a contract or anything before I got in it, because I came from grants, and contracts are totally different. They're totally different beasts.
Yeah.
And you know, it was just going, I was like, wow, this is like really weird and stuff. And they would send me out before I got a chance to learn anything, and I was traveling.
Right.
I was going around, and I was like, this is weird, but me, I just like, hey, you know, it's either sink or swim. And all of a sudden, I ended up swimming.
You hit the ground running, you trial by fire.
That's what it's all about.
That's how it is.
You know.
But at least, you know, with us doing it together, you've got somebody overseeing, making sure that you're not going to destroy an expensive product, you know, by being, really the only way you could destroy it would be either mishandling it or dropping it or forcing something.
Yeah.
And I always tell people if it's not going in simply, don't force anything. Everything should, when it's lined up like a puzzle piece, when it's lined up, it should snap right in. You shouldn't have to, get the scissors, I'll make this puzzle piece fit. Don't do that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, I'm going to go ahead and we'll say goodbye to everybody, and then you and I will.
Thanks a lot. It's been fun.
All right. Thanks.
I learned a lot.
Thanks, you guys, for joining us today. It was a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll get you back. And
definitely. I'll be back soon.
We'll look forward to it. Everybody wants to see it, too. No pressure.
Yeah.
Hey, guys. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you all again next time. Bye for now.
Peace.